Hi everybody! In this tutorial I wanted to go through my process on how I like to create cross stitch patterns. I am going to be using an application called Stitchly to show you, but there's also a bunch of free applications online that you can also access. I'll leave a link to some of them. This application is a paid application, but I think it's worth the money. It's pretty cheap, and if you're planning on making a bunch of cross stitch patterns, I think that it's worth the money. I think it's a pretty good one to use. So in this tutorial, I'm going to start with a preliminary drawing that I made on my iPad, but you could easily design your own drawing, use some markers or paint, or you can also use colored pencils to fill in a design. I think it's really easy, a lot easier to start out with a design than to, from scratch, plug in each little pixel that you want to stitch. I think it's just going to be a lot easier if you can just sketch it out and not have to think about it in graph format. So that's how I like to start. So I will give you a quick rundown of some of the basics of this program. I don't know all of the ins and outs of it. I just use like some of the basic capabilities of it. So I'm just going to kind of show you how I like to use it. So you can either draw your own design, like I said, which I think is really tricky to do. I don't really think that way. So I like to convert from a photo. And I have it right here. And you can upload and choose your fabric count as well as your finished stitch size. So for this, there's a lot of white space around this, which will be kind of picked up in the design. So I am going to crop this photo and make sure that there's not very much white space around it. So you can choose which size you want. I'm pretty sure that this kind of dynamically picks the best suitable one, but I want my design to be pretty minimal. Like it will pick up on a lot of different color changes. If you do it super large, it'll give you more detail. So I like to choose, I'm gonna try the one step down. And I'm going to keep the aspect ratio so it doesn't distort it. And fabric count is 14, that's good for me, but you can change it if you're using a different count of linen or Aida. So that's cool. And you can also see the stitches wide and the stitches tall. So once you're happy with the finish size and the fabric count and everything, you can hit the arrow. There is an option to remove the background. So if you have a drawing that you don't want the background to show up in the pattern, you can do that. I like to just keep it. It might mark the white as a stitch, but you can easily modify that so it still just counts it as like a white background with like no stitches in it. So I'm gonna keep that and just skip the background. So if I'm looking at this now, it's pretty elementary. It is not super detailed. So I just wanted to kind of show you the difference between some of the selections because I think it's helpful to just kind of visualize this. So if you're using 14 count Aida fabric or linen or whatever kind of fabric it is, and you're using 14 count, it's going to be a lot larger of a design to get a lot more detail in it because the grid of the fabric is going to be a little bit larger. So the finished size, if we select like 11 by 7, which is pretty large, as you can see, the detail is going to be relatively good. You're seeing a lot more definition in the flower, all of that. So you can do the same thing if you add a little bit more thread count here. So say I want to do 24 count. And there's a little notification that comes up saying that the larger value means the finished sizes will be smaller. So we'll click yes. And you can pretty much get that same amount of definition I showed you from the 14 count with this design, and it would only be 6.4 by 4 inches. As you can see, it's pretty much, yeah, the exact same. So if you want to make something a little bit smaller but also detailed, you're going to want to select fabric that's going to be a little bit higher. For my example, I don't want it to be super detailed looking. I want it to be pretty much just the colors I used, and I was pretty intentional with this design. I only used like probably under 10 colors for this. It is going to pick up a little bit on areas where maybe I used a brush, so there's some areas where the opacity might be a little bit different, so it will pick that up. But for the most part, this is the starting point. Is this a great starting point? It's a little hard to see. So what you can do is you can toggle the numbers of colors if you want. If you feel like it's adding in way too many colors. 35 colors is a lot for this design. Like I said, I only used like 10 or something. So I'm gonna drop it way down. And I'm gonna drop it down until I notice that like even more of the definition is going away. So as you can see, if I drop it to 10, you lose some of the colors here. So what I like to do is kind of find a happy medium, and even though I don't want the design to be 19 colors, I'll be able to kind of piece together and add in the colors I want to use if I just drop the colors down just a little bit. So there's a few things you can do. You can change the saturation. I don't really mess around with these too much. I kind of just let it do its thing because it will color pick for you as well, which will be the next screen. So you can leave, if you're using stranded floss, which is normally what you would use for cross stitch, you can just keep that selected, but there are a bunch of different customizations you can make. And I like to just go to the next screen. And as you can see, it has picked out the colors that it thinks that this photo has. I think that the software does a pretty good job matching everything, so I'm gonna leave these alone. There, it will show you how many squares each color has in it, and then it will also make it available for you to switch out colors if you really didn't like them. So you can do that. It will change all of the colors that it has selected for whatever color it is. So if you change one, it will change the entire selection. So I will leave those alone for now. And then here is the design. As you can see, everything is gridded out. You can change the settings to where, let's see, where is it at? I think it's under view. Yeah. You can see what the settings are here. The grid lines, generally I like to keep mine at 10. That's, I think, a kind of a standard for cross stitch patterns. It's easiest to navigate that way. It's a little less busy. And so when you zoom in here, it'll show you the symbols as well. So it'll assign symbols and colors to everything. What I like to do is kind of go through and clean this up. So as you can see, there were a few different shades of orange in this foot here that I just want it to be solid, this foot. I don't want a bunch of different colors. So what I like to do is use the color dropper tool. I just think it's easier to navigate this way. I think you can actually find the color that's used somewhere in this list somewhere, but I like to just click on the color dropper. And then what I'll do is click on the color I want and it will select it, as you can see right here. And then you can fill in the colors you want. The other thing you want to check on is the stitch type you have. There's a bunch of different stitches here that you can use. It defaults to the full cross stitch, which is all I'm going to use for this pattern. Well, I might use some back stitches, but for the most part, I'm just going to use full stitches. But as you can see, you can do fractional stitches, you can do French knots, you can do the back stitch, a bunch of different kinds of stitch types here. So I'm just going to fill in the areas that I just want that color to be. Like that. And then you can add in or subtract however you want to do it. And then I also am gonna click on the dark orange here and fill in this foot. If you fill in too much and you don't like it and you made a mistake, you can hit the undo button and it will undo whatever you do. And I think I might change that color. Right now it's this color. I might try 921, which is like a step up from that. For the shadow on the leg, I can't really see the difference very well between those two. So I will probably try this. Yeah. As you can see, my whole design has a background to it, so it actually thinks that like we'll be stitching all of the white in it. So I can quickly show you how I like to fix that. So If you close out the pattern and you come back in, you'll be able to remove the white background because right now it has symbols everywhere. The reason I don't like to do the remove background all the time is because it still kind of picks up around the outline of whatever I draw, and it still for some reason puts like a white border around it. So I don't really think it makes a difference if you remove the background first. But if you go to the color, which is just white down here, and you hold down on it, it'll delete the color. And then it'll ask you if you really want to do that. And then now all that's left is the design and no weird outline or background around it. So once you do that, you can go back in and edit the pattern. And you can just keep going. So now if you zoom in here, you'll see that there's no symbols around this area. So once I go through and just kind of clean this up a little bit, it'll be ready to go. So I've gotten pretty far with the duck. I'm pretty happy with the way the duck looks, but I do want to switch some of the colors in this flower. So I'm on the screen that will show you all of the color palette here. And a handy thing you can do if you really are having a hard time, because there's a lot of different greens in here and some of them are kind of hard to tell apart, is you can click on the color and kind of figure out what is going on there. So you can change all of that color if you need to. So I'm just kind of looking around here to figure out what colors are in here and which ones I should change. And if you click off of it, it'll go away. So I think I'm probably going to change that. So what you can do is change color to, and then I think, yeah, it'll just allow you to search for some. So let me look and see which color I want to change it to. I think I want it to be, I think I want to change both of those and just do this parrot green. So that's 906. So I'm gonna change this one to 906. Okay, and then I'm gonna change this one. So that is a little bit better. I think I'm liking that. I think there's one other green that I want to take out. Like this green, it's barely, you can barely tell the difference, so I'm going to take that out too. And I think I like the little accent of this yellowish green color in there, so I'll leave that alone. And then finally I'll take out that color. I'm just changing everything to 906 to keep it simple, because I think the shadows that we have are sufficient. I don't think I need to add any other colors. Yes. Okay. So now, as you can see, that's the green for the duck. So we've got this color, that color, and we'll change this one to, okay, that simplifies things a lot. So we have a lot less colors. We have 20 colors, which is still more than what I started with. I'm gonna go through and make sure that there's no random colors in here. So there are a few actually that if you look closely, there's stitches that are like really low count. So that's a good way to target them too, because it's hard to tell the difference between some of these colors. So I think I like that color in there, but I do see a few, like this tin color. I don't need that. I can just change that to this color. So I'm gonna go through, clean this up, and then I'll show you how you can export it. So you don't have to do this. You could follow the pattern on your tablet or on your phone if you want to, but if you want to export it, you can. You just hit this share button here and you can either print it if you're hooked up to a printer or export it as an image or a PDF. So I'm gonna do a PDF so I can print it, and you can name it. So we'll just say duck pattern. And it'll export it for you. Okay, let me show you how you can change it so it'll actually show you the colors as well. This is how you can change it. If you go to PDF and you go to settings here, you can do black and white, yes or no. So if you choose yes, it will refresh it and it'll give you a symbol chart, as you can see. And then it's nice and it has like the centers marked out for you and everything like that, as well as your stitch list, the dimensions, the fabric count needed, and all of that. So if you ever wanted to like sell these or share these, they're great to, this software is great to use. And then if you want it to be color, you just select no, and it will come up with a color pattern, which I prefer colors. You can also do hide the symbols if you want, which I think the symbols are kind of confusing if the colors are easy enough to differentiate. So I like to hide the symbols. So there's a bunch of different things you can do. Another thing you can do if you are gonna plan to use this on your iPad is you can preview it and kind of see, like, I think this view is pretty nice. And you could use something like that if you wanted to work off of it that way. But other than that, I just like to hit play. It'll give you a preview of everything. And then, actually, I forgot about this part. I don't use this, but it is a handy tool if you wanted to keep track of where you were. So it'll say tap to stitch, so it'll literally show you, when you click on it, what the color is. I think it's easier to just go off of a paper chart, but it is something cool to try if you are interested in doing something like that. Here is the design all printed out. I do have a little typo in the title, but this is what it looks like. And I think it's a pretty nice software to use. I think the process is pretty much the same across different softwares. I've used a handful of them and they are generally about the same. So you can apply this to pretty much any software you use. I really hope you enjoyed this tutorial and it helped. Like and subscribe if you like cross stitch and hand embroidery content, and I'll see you in the next video. Okay, bye.